The girls' tennis season is slowly coming to an end as the sectionals were held over the weekend, and we have much more to cover for this week's episode of Naperville Sports Weekly. Hello everyone, my name is Joe Kennedy, and thank you for tuning in for our 8th show of NSW Season 17. The DuPage Valley Conference has announced that its football teams will merge with the Southwest Suburban Conference starting in the fall of 2024. The announcement came earlier this week, and you can find more details on the merger online at nctv17.org. The current DVC football season is wrapping up now with just 2 games remaining, and so let's check out how the action unfolded over the weekend. It's a cold, wet, and muddy evening at Neuqua Valley High School as the DeKalb Barbs travel to Naperville and face the Wildcat football squad. With a win, Neuqua can secure playoff eligibility, while DeKalb needs to win the final 2 games for a chance at postseason action. We begin with DeKalb's Cole Latimer throwing to Xavier Dandridge, who works his way upfield before being brought out of bounds by Wildcat Miles Miskell. Wildcats now with the ball as Ryan Muller throws a great pass just over the DeKalb defenders to Cooper Lehman for a Neuqua first down. From the 46-yard line, Muller takes the ball on the quarterback draw, breaks 2 tackles, and is loose for a touchdown. It's the first score of the night, but the Wildcats' PAT is no good. Later on in the first quarter, Latimer is looking to pass, but it gets intercepted by Wildcat Nick Williamson. From his own 30-yard line, the Wildcat runs 70 yards for the touchdown, extending the lead to 13-0. The rain picks up a little bit in the second quarter, but that doesn't stop Neuqua Valley as Muller fakes the handoff and takes the ball himself. He evades a diving tackle, and from there, no one can catch him. Neuqua leads 22-0. We continue to pile on the touchdowns as Muller throws to Lehman at the 25-yard line, and he runs to the end zone for the touchdown, keeping the lead strong for the Wildcats. DeKalb with the ball as Latimer throws a deep pass, but it gets intercepted by Nick Pape of Neuqua Valley. It's been all Wildcats during the first half as Pape celebrates in the mud. Near the end zone, the duo of Muller and Lehman go to work again as Lehman catches another touchdown. Neuqua Valley goes into halftime with a 34-0 lead. Third quarter underway, and Neuqua Valley's Anthony Spezio takes the handoff and squeezes through the Barbs defense. He scores the touchdown, and the Wildcats now lead 40-0. Jumping into the fourth quarter as Latimer finds Dandridge, and he has some space. Dandridge somehow evades the entire Wildcat defense and scores on a 41-yard touchdown. The Barbs get on the board, however they fall to the Wildcats by a final score of 42-6. Neuqua moves to 5-3 on the season, securing playoff eligibility, and will take on Naperville Central next week in the DVC Bowl.
Former Red Hawk, now Green Bay Packer wide receiver Jaden Reed is here to watch his alma mater and DVC champions Naperville Central take the field against Metea Valley. The Mustangs are still in search of their first DVC win of the season. The Red Hawk offense keeps their mojo going like they have all season as QB Jack Cook finds Chris Byrne on the wide receiver screen and turns on the Jets. Byrne picks up 48 yards on the play, which sets the Hawks up deep in the red zone. On the very next play, Aiden Clark gets his name called and gets in for 6 to make it 7-0 Hawks. NC is looking to add on some more, but the Mustang defense forms a brick wall with Brady Jones sacking Cook for a loss. Central gets it together on the next drive. Cook finds Alex Leibel on the curl route, and he runs for 23 yards, setting up the Hawks in enemy territory. A penalty backs them up, but that's no problem when Cook can just drop some dimes into the hands of Byrne. It's a 43-yard touchdown for the Cook and Byrne duo, and they connect on another later on to lead 21-0. Defense stays in check in the second quarter with Maverick Oley batting down the pass and forcing the Mustangs to punt. Time for another running play and another Aiden Clark touchdown, this time from 20 yards out. Red Hawks are rolling up 35-0. We are not done with the cooking and burning. Number 1 completes a pass to his best friend, he makes every Mustang defender eat his dust. Redhawks get the clock rolling going into the second half with a 42-0 lead after another big touchdown. The Mustangs do find some positive vibes in the second half as Lucas Van Valera drops a bomb into the hands of Daniel Perret for the touchdown. Mattia adds on a few more in garbage time, but it was all Redhawks from the start. NC is 7-1 and will host Neuqua Valley next Friday for the DVC Bowl.
Last season, we saw Naperville North's #1 doubles team of Brooke Kaufman and Gabby Lee make a run to the state finals. The 2023 sectionals were held this weekend, and let's see which local girls make it to the state meet. The regular season has come to a close, and the Bennett girls tennis team looks to build off a solid season in the sectional finals. Today's matchups for the Red Wings include Meredith Converse facing Hinsdale South's Chloe Gaines in the singles final, Shane Delaney and Claire Lopatka taking on Natalie Grover and Katie Gendra in the All Bennett Academy doubles final, while Red Wing Lily Lopatka goes for third in the singles bracket. We start in the singles finals as Converse and Goins have a long rally before Goins' forehand is right on the line, leading to Converse holding in the second game. Goins would stay strong though on her serve. The junior's high arcing shot clips the net, Converse returns, but it's set up on a platter for Goins, whose winner solidifies her hold. Tied 2-2 in the set, Goins forces Converse deep, and her shot pops up for Goins, whose forehand is on point as she takes a 3-2 lead in the set, and she goes on to win the first set 6-2. Trailing in the second set, Converse's serve is too much for Goins, and she is able to take a point back, although she still trails 4-0 in the second set. Goins has a good serve of her own as the junior rockets an unreturnable one to take a 5-0 lead in the set. Serving for her tournament life, Converse's serve ends up out of bounds for a double fault, and Goins from Hinsdale South wins the singles portion of the sectional. Over to the All Red Wings doubles final, where Claire Lopatka's shot just finds the line and Shane Delaney takes care of business at the net, setting up Lopatka for a winner down the middle. Lopatka and Delaney take the first set 6-2. With Grover and Gendra on the serve now, the pair play it up at the net and respond to take a point back on their teammates. Up a set and looking to close out, the Red Wing opponents go back and forth until Lopatka's backhand is too much to deal with as the pair take a point. They go on to win the one doubles bracket after a 6-2, 6-2 win in the finals. In the third place singles match, Lily Lopatka faces Elaine McNamara from Nazareth. After pushing her back, Lopatka comes up and hits a winner down the left side. Later on, Lopatka is deeper as McNamara comes up the court. Lopatka's forehand drives her back and McNamara has an unforced error. Lopatka wins the point. The freshman goes on to take the third place match 6-2, 6-1. Bennett girls tennis, however, wins the sectional after Converse finishes in second, Lopatka in third, and first and second place in the doubles portion of the sectional.
The Downers Grove South Girls Tennis Sectional is safe inside from Mother Nature at the Naperville Tennis Club. Naperville North and Naperville Central are two of our area teams featured that bring in defending sectional champs from singles and doubles. The singles championship features defending champ Sophia Olaru taking on freshman Riley Lepsy from Wheaton-Warrenville South. Olaru is hoping to capture yet another sectional, and she's off to a good start getting a point. However, Lepsy turns it on with some aggression that catches her opponent off guard. It was a dominating performance for Lepsy as she takes the singles championships in straight sets by scores of 6-1. To the doubles portion's third place edition, featuring Naperville Central's Kira Yang and Amy Patel, taking on the Tiger duo of Jonna Kim and Katie Muff. The Red Hawk pack gets soaring right away with Patel bringing in the fire on the sendback. The two remain the same in a two-set sweep as Yang swings and gets a favorable land that secures the third-place spot. The doubles championship shows the strong pair of Brooke Kaufman and Gabby Lee facing Wheaton South's Kaylee McCabe and Lauren Morton, who have some support on their side. McCabe and Morton go to work as a little rally takes place, but McCabe quickly ends that with a nasty approach for the point. Later on, Kaufman and Lee start making things look too easy on their end after a nice hit that lands on the spot. Despite the score, this was an intense match as Kaufman and Lee take it in two sets by scores of 6-1, 6-1, and the sectional title for doubles. Overall, it's Wheaton Warrenville South ending the day winning the team sectional ahead of Naperville Central and Naperville North.
When we return, we'll run over to the DVC Cross Country Championships and then check out how some of our boys' soccer teams wrapped up the conference season.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you. Banking with BMO means more fee-free ATMs than the two largest U.S. banks combined, including places like pharmacies and grocery stores.
Saving money and more convenient. Look at you being so helpful.
What'd you expect? You're studying at a help stop.
That's you.
That's me, at a desk.
When a bank helps you get and stay ahead, that's the BMO effect.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
Running conditions aren't ideal for a morning DVC Boys Cross Country Championship meet at Waubonsie Valley, as cold rain has been coming down all weekend. The Wildcats of Neuqua Valley are looking to defend last season's title, while the rest of the conference looks to take them down. As the runners begin the 3-mile journey, the rain only intensifies. Naperville North's Foster Shelbert went ahead of the pack in the first 400 meters as Neuqua's Zach Close trails behind. With runners making their way in between the tennis courts and baseball fields, battling their eyes from the rain, it is Close and Robert Glenn leading the way, with DeKalb's Jacob Barraza and Amar Bonpuri trailing. Red Hawk Tyler Browning making his way over the pavement. Matia's Austin Brown is just outside the top 5, and Anthony Pastor trails behind him. Patrick Clune and Shelbert are stride for stride, followed by Jack Roberts and Nick Camp. Waubonsie's Zach Self and Austin McInturf flirt with the top 20 in the first mile. Approaching mile 2, Close only grows his lead, and Bonpuri gets ahead of Glenn for second place. Browning has a lead on Barraza, who had an even bigger lead on Brown, as the rest of the participants following behind them. Tony Hinderlitter and Joshua Nauman round out the top 10. Glenn is in the third spot, but Browning inches himself closer. Brown holds the lead he has over Pastor, and Robert Shelbert and Jack Clune with Hinderlitter gaining behind them. Ian French from Matia follows behind McInturf and Self. Jack Graham, Julian Brozick, and Nick Camp all pile up as they trail French. In the end, it's Close who wins comfortably with a time of 15 minutes and 27.20 seconds. Tyler Browning is in second at 15:44.6, and Bonpuri rounds out the top 3. Barraza gets in the top 5 representing DeKalb, and Clune stretches across to edge out Brown for 6th place. Hinderlitter picks it up in the end and beats out the herd of Naperville Central runners. Shelbert is at 9, while Roberts is the final runner in the top 10. Pastor and Ramiz Abrar finished 2 seconds apart from one another at 16:29 and 16:27 for 11th and 12th place. Max Hengy leads the pack of Red Hawk runners, with Julian Brozick and Jack Graham taking 13th, 15th, and 16th. Self is the lone warrior in the top 20 at 17, and Nathan Baer placed 18th. Camp finishes at 19th, and Neuqua's Jacob Lane rounds out the top 20, with McInturf just behind him. Once again, Neuqua Valley repeats as champions, taking the win with a score of 38. Matia Valley travels to Naperville Central for a late season DVC matchup. The Red Hawks with a win can clinch at least a share of the conference title for the second straight season. The Mustangs look to play spoiler and secure third place in the conference behind Central and Naperville North. Red Hawk sophomore Eli Jarrell finds some space in the middle to start, but his shot is corralled by Ravi Shah. Jarrell was involved early on, but it wasn't until 30 minutes in when this pass from Carter Adams finds him and his header gets past Shah, who comes off his line trying to stop the play. It's good for Jarrell's 10th goal of the season to make it 1-0 for the Red Hawks. Anthony Hildreth attacks Central with some pace before flicking it off to Michael Sinise. His shot is handled with ease, though, by Red Hawk keeper Dylan Scott. Into the second half now, Adams and Michael Cavallari work together to free up Adams for a fiery shot that's saved by the outstretched Shah. The game remains 1-0 despite Adams' effort. Michael DeFalco plays it from the corner, making some nice moves on the dribble and playing it back to Jarrell, whose shot ends in another big save for Shah in net. A long throw-in for Central pings off both a Red Hawk and a Mustang, but it eventually trickles to a patient Ludo Galina, who controls it and hits it through the empty side of the net to make it 2-0 for the Red Hawks. It's set piece after set piece, though, as Matias Salhil-Carr puts it right on the money for Abel Lopez, who heads it in to cut the Central lead in half with just 12 minutes to go. Late in the match, Sinise has a dangerous free kick, but the low ball is corralled by Scott, and Central holds on to win 2-1. They finish with 4 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw in DVC play, which is good enough to be named co-conference champions with Naperville North. We enter the final week of DuPage Valley Conference boys soccer action as tonight's contest takes us to Naperville North High School. The Huskies host the Waubonsie Valley Warriors, who enter tonight's match on a 2-game winning streak. The Huskies remain unbeaten in conference play as they look to win a share of the DVC title with crosstown rivals Naperville Central. The Huskies go on the attack as Noah Radicke wins the ball back from Waubonsie and goes for goal. His shot hits the crossbar and Warriors goalkeeper Sebastian Herrera is able to get to it, and the match remains scoreless. A little later on, the Huskies now lead 1-0 as they push to add another goal. The Warriors try to clear the ball away, but it goes right back to Husky Josh Peterson, and he rips his shot into the far right corner of the nets to put the Huskies ahead 2-0. What a strike from 30-plus yards out from goal. The Warriors are looking to respond to get back into the match, and Lachlan Ladd gets to the ball and blasts a shot from distance, but Husky goalkeeper Jack Bauska is able to scoop it up for the save. Still in the first half, and the Huskies aren't done yet. Radicke has possession, and he puts in some fancy footwork and delivers a cross inside the box. Herrera, the Warrior keeper, tries to catch the ball, but can't secure it, and Nico Ladas is there on the rebound to bury it home for the Huskies. They take a commanding 3-0 lead going into halftime over the Warriors. The Husky offense continues to stay hot early into the second half as Radicke adds his name to the score sheet. The Huskies are now up by 4 goals. Free kick opportunity for the Warriors as Eric Maravillo looks on. He sends this ball towards the box for Cade Ballack, and he goes for the header, but his shot goes over the crossbar. The Huskies look to add another goal. Radicke finds Joel Rudderman as he blasts his shot towards goal, but goalkeeper Abram Tiburcio comes up with a huge save on this one for the Warriors. Defender Colin McMahon has possession for the Huskies and looks for Jackson Stokes. He gets himself open to take a shot on goal, but Tiburcio gets an arm on it for another big save. The Huskies, however, cruise to a 4-0 win against the Warriors and earn a share of the DVC title with crosstown rivals Naperville Central. Coming up next, Jenna Schiltz and Bennett Academy Girls Golf recently capped off a historic performance at the state tournament. Then, let's take a look at one of our top plays from this week's action of Naperville Sports Weekly.
In these complicated times, local news has never been more important. DailyHerald.com lets you stay connected to your community, wherever you are.
He took his victims at night, and they were never heard from again. We were there when true crime podcasts spiked your anxiety.
Maybe try binging something less intense next time.
We were there for that. And we're here for everything else. Here it's personal because we get to know you.
Bennett Academy senior Jenna Schultz saved her best for last with a second-place finish at the 2A Girls Golf State Tournament last weekend. Patrick Cotto has more on a memorable performance for the Red Wings in our latest feature story, sponsored by Edward Elmhurst Health.
At the challenging Red Tail Run in Decatur, 3 of our area girls golf teams in Bennett Academy, Waubonsie, and Neuqua Valley each advanced to Day 2 and finished in the top 8 in Class 2A. For the Red Wings, this created a feeling of redemption just 1 year after the team missed the Day 2 cut by only 2 spots. Golfers like juniors Audrey Wake, Kerrigan Riley, Isabel Grain, and senior Audrey Simkis helped lead the charge all season long. Although the straw that stirred the drink was Jenna Schultz, who took her swing to another level at the second day of state.
I was just trying to enjoy every moment. It was just, being at my last high school event. I just want to go out there and play solid golf, and whatever the placement was, it was. So I was just really happy to have placed pretty solid.
That spot happened to be second place as an individual by just 2 strokes behind state champion Kaylee Dwyer from Lincoln Way West. Entering her second day 4 spots behind the leaders, Schultz sunk an eagle on hole 3 that immediately put her into contention. Despite pulling into a tie for the leader later in the day, Dwyer was able to hold on for the individual title with the 144 2-day score, while Schultz turned in a 146.
It was just kind of a rush of emotions. It was definitely a pretty tense round, so I was just, happy that I'd finished it well and, placed well.
The performance goes down as the second best individual finish for the Wings, only behind 2018 state champion Lauren Boudreau. Schultz was only in 7th grade at the time, but Boudreau was a golfer Schultz looked up to and wanted to follow a similar path. Head coach Mike Bremner had the privilege of watching talents like Schultz and Boudreau succeed during his tenure at Bennett. To this day, Bremner loves seeing support from alumni cheering on the next generation of Red Wing athletes.
She was really pulling for Jenna, I know, because she wanted, another Bennett girl to be a state champion. And yeah, Jenna's in really good company, being right up there at the top of the girls that have played for me in the 10 years I've been coaching.
She has left a huge mark on this program, and is definitely someone who's, a really great role model for not only myself, but for everyone on the team with her, incredible golf game.
2 years after Boudreau's heroics, Schultz did try out and made the Bennett team as a freshman, but schedule conflicts with numerous golf tournaments and an interest in figure skating kept her from playing high school golf in her first year. However, by the end of her sophomore year, she knew it was time to return to the links for the Red Wings, which was more than welcome news to Coach Bremner.
I had a meeting in my room and she showed up at that meeting, so I talked to her after the meeting. I said, "Are you potentially interested, or is this a go? Is this happening?" And she said, "It's happening." And I knew almost immediately we were going to have a number 1 who was going to be an ace for us for the next 2 years, and that's exactly what she turned out to be.
In only 2 seasons, Schultz has left her own major mark on the program. She helped Bennett to back-to-back regional team championships, to go on with winning the regional individual title in both seasons. One of her most famous shots was in the 2022 regional, where Schultz hit a birdie with a nice backspin to find the hole, which left the then junior speechless.
Yeah! Yeah!
After qualifying for state in back-to-back seasons, this year's trip was especially memorable, with Schultz taking home the runner-up medal, a hole-in-one from sophomore Raina Macron, and the team finishing in 6th place overall, the best in program history. Now with their high school run coming to an end, she's taken her talents to the University of Michigan, where she will tee off for the Wolverines next fall. While she is excited for her new chapter, Bennett Academy will always have a special place in her heart.
I've just enjoyed my time here so much. This is just such an incredible program, and I guess I'll definitely miss just the camaraderie of all the girls and the support we have for each other throughout all of our matches.
For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Patrick Cotto.
Our Girls Play of the Week takes us to the Hinsdale South Girls Tennis Sectional. Bennett Academy's Lily Lopatka won the first set 6-2 and is in control during the second. The play begins on the powerful serve as Lopatka forces her opponent to play from the back. This allows the Red Wing to pick the corners and eventually walk towards the net. She places one just where it needs to be inside the playing surface for the point. Lopatka would pick up the third place singles victory in straight sets as Bennett Academy won the sectional as a team and will head to the state meet. It's the last week of regular season girls swimming action, and after the break, we'll dive into the pool to check in on some of our local teams as the regular season winds down.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you. Banking with BMO means more fee-free ATMs than the two largest U.S. banks combined, including places like pharmacies and grocery stores.
Saving money and more convenient. Look at you being so helpful.
What'd you expect? You're studying at a help stop.
That's you.
That's me, at a desk.
When a bank helps you get and stay ahead, that's the BMO effect.
Hey everybody, Stephen Holt here from NBC5. What is a better way to start the morning than a fresh, hot cup of coffee? Well, NCTV 17's The Morning Show. We've got sizzling interviews, heated competition with Game On. Also, we have a live band and breakfast is included. It's the hottest ticket in town. I'll see you there.
It's senior night for Naperville North girls swimming. The Huskies welcome in Waubonsie Valley for the last regular season meet before the DVC meet next week. Starting with the 200 medley relay. It was a close start to the race, but in the final length, the Warrior squad of Bella Plood, Kaylin Ball, Abby Brown, and Anna Hansruk take first place with a time of 1:55.09. Next up is the 200 freestyle. This race came down to the wire between Ruby Meyer and Peyton Schreier. In the end, it's Schreier who touches the wall half a second ahead of Meyer. The 200-yard IM is next. Just like the first two races, this was another close one. Malika Putikhan finishes first, followed by Isidra Pereira and Malini Madaman. Let's switch things up to the shortest race in the 50 freestyle. Coming out in front is the Warrior and Anna Hansruk. Closely behind her is Kaylin Ball and Reagan O'Malley. Moving on to the 100-yard butterfly. Once again, this race came down to the final second. Aubrey Talega finishes in first place with a time of 1:01.60. 0.19th of a second behind her is Malika Putikhan. Staying with the 100s in the freestyle. Waubonsie's underclassmen have been impressive this season as Anna Hansruk continues to shine, winning another race. Flipping over to our backs for the backstroke. To no surprise, this was another tight race. Bella Plood from Waubonsie finishes in first, 1.2 seconds ahead of Chloe Chen. Next up is the breaststroke. This race was close to start, but pulling away in the end is Jewel Swatland. 3 seconds behind her is Kaylin Ball. If you haven't noticed, this meet is insanely close, so it comes down to the 400 relay. The team of Abby Pobosny, Lauren Malko, Tasha Mantle, and Chloe Chen wins it for the Huskies. In the end, the final score shows just how close this meet was as Waubonsie Valley and Naperville North tie at 93.
A few weeks ago, we saw Neuqua Valley wide receiver Cooper Lehman make an amazing touchdown grab from a throw by quarterback Ryan Muller. This week, it was Muller's turn to make a highlight play against the DeKalb Barbs. We're in the second quarter and Neuqua has possession on their 27-yard line. Muller runs the read option and takes it himself as he fakes the entire DeKalb defensive line. In the second level, Muller makes a Barb defender eat some mud after a great move, and he runs for the score. It's a 73-yard touchdown from Muller and his second on the night after running one in from 48 yards out in the first quarter. Neuqua goes on to thrash DeKalb, winning by a final score of 42-6. That will close things out for today's show of Naperville Sports Weekly here on NCTV 17. Thanks again for tuning in. You can find all our highlights from the season, as well as feature stories and community sports on nctv17.org and our NCTV 17 Sports YouTube channel. You can also find us on social media at NCTV17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy, and I'll see you again next week.